Hello, everybody out there. Welcome to the Operation Bohica podcast. My name is Kevin, and I have been a New York Jets fan since 1982. Today, I am going to give you what I feel is going to be my honest review of the New York Jets 34-32 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the opening game of the 2025 season. I'm going to talk about the good, bad, and the downright ugly. And I'm going to get right to the downright ugly. The secondary outside of Sauce Gardner, who did a relatively good job against the Pittsburgh Steelers star receiver DJ Metcalf. The secondary was garbage. I'm not going to get on Andre Cisco too much, but Tony Adams was missing tackles left and right. Michael Carter the second, he had kind of an uneven game. He did make some good plays, particularly against the run, but against the pass, not so much. He got juked big time by DK Metcalf on the drive in which Pittsburgh scored their first touchdown. He also blew the coverage when Aaron Rodgers threw his first touchdown pass. So Michael Carter II played a very uneven first game of the season. So got to give both of them a pass for it being the first game of the season. But the guy that I'm not going to give a pass to is Brandon Stevens. Brandon Stevens was garbage. And anybody that, you don't have to know a whole lot about football to know. He was trash, bro. He was getting burned. He got burned, I think, by Calvin Austin, the third, on one of the touchdowns that Aaron Rodgers threw. He had a couple of pass interference calls, especially one in particular on the last drive, which led to the game-winning field goal. By the way, give props to the kicker for Pittsburgh. Uh, he made that 60-yard field goal, and let's keep it real. Uh, that kick, that Chris Boswell, that kick could have gone at least another 10, 15 yards. So props to him. The kick, if you watch the replay, that kick it almost got blocked too, almost, but it wasn't meant to be. So that's the ugly part. The bad part, a lot of undisciplined play by the Jets, several penalties. The one that John Simpson got towards the end of the first half, protecting Justin Fields from that hit by Jalen Ramsey, I kind of give him a pass for that because he is trying to protect his quarterback. I did not think personally that was a dirty hit, and I didn't think Jalen Ramsey was going to get flagged for that. But again, understandable that John Simpson, who's the wily veteran of the Jets offensive line, I got to give him his props for sticking up for Justin Fields in that situation. So I'm not going to get too upset over that one. So I think, in my opinion, that was basically the ugly side of that Jets loss. Prior to the touchdown in which Pittsburgh took the lead in the third quarter, they went up. They went up 24-19 in the fourth quarter. Ah, my God, Quincy Williams. I know he's trying to make a play, but that unnecessary roughness penalty, dude. And then, of course, Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers, still got plenty left in the tank. He gets a touchdown. The Steelers take the lead, and then, oh my God, Xavier Gipson. Get rid of this guy. This guy is allergic to the football. Pittsburgh had already scored. You're thinking the Jets are going to get the ball back. He fumbles. Pittsburgh, a couple plays later, they get another touchdown. Just, they go up, 31-26. At that point, the Jets had been up 26-17. That was the play of the game. But Quincy Williams should, bear some responsibility. That flag also changed the momentum of the game. But Xavier Gipson, please get him out of town. As far as Brandon Stevens goes, they're not going to get rid of him just yet. And the reason I say that is because of that 3-year, $36 million contract. I'll say this: a lot of Baltimore Ravens fans. I was seeing some of the comments they made online when the Jets initially signed Brandon Stevens. They were saying that the Jets were making a very big mistake by signing him. One of my former coworkers is a Ravens fan. I believe we were chatting a couple of months ago, and I think she even said that the Jets were making a mistake signing Brandon Stevens. Well, so far, all those Ravens fans have been very prophetic. Brandon Stevens was absolute trash. The defense, I think the defense played well, except for the secondary. I think the defensive line for the Jets played very well. Quentin Williams had a really good game. He had a sack. Then you got Will McDonald. He had 2 sacks. They were able to generate pressure on Aaron Rodgers at certain points during the game, but when it mattered most, they came close, couldn't get to him, and the secondary again outside of Sauce Gardner just wasn't able to make the necessary plays when it mattered the most. And again, that's kind of been a problem for the Jets defense over the last few years. Sometimes they play really well, but then when it matters the most in crunch time, the defense is not able to execute. This was a game where I know a lot of people were really on DJ Reed, the former Jet who signed with the Detroit Lions. But after watching Brandon Stevens play, I really wish that DJ Reed would have stayed. I'm not upset with DJ Reed for leaving and going to the Lions. Somewhere, I think he posted that, he was just tired of the losing culture. I understand that, but it would have been nice for him to have remained a New York Jet with Aaron Glenn, helping him, and I'm sure Aaron Glenn is going to help mold Sauce Gardner. But Aaron Glenn is going to have a tough time. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you for joining. Uh, Hopefully, Brandon Stevens can step it up. If not, get Azuri Thomas, the rookie out of Florida State, put him in there immediately, and let's see what he can do. As far as the offense of the Jets, that was a whole different story. But I do got to give props to Aaron Rodgers, 22 of 30, 244, 4 touchdowns. Obviously he played this Jets defense in practice throughout last season, and my man, it showed. Boy, he was, even though the Jets were able to generate pressure on Aaron Rodgers with the 4 sacks, and let's keep it real, the Jets did stop the run. The Pittsburgh Steelers only had 53 yards rushing. Uh, Even with that being said, Aaron Rodgers slicing and dicing, showing why he is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Unfortunately, that the Jets' tenure was doomed after the Achilles injury. Who knows what would have happened with the Jets had he never gotten hurt in that first game of the 2023 season. And then they got off to that bad start last season. I think they fired Robert Saleh way too early. They should have either fired him at the end of 2023 or at the end of last season. Firing him when they did that really messed things up. Jeff Ulbrich was not equipped to be a head coach. And by the time Devontae Adams was acquired, it was over. It was over. But getting back to the offense put up 32 points. So there's no reason why an offense can put up 32 points in the National Football League and not win. So this loss primarily falls on defense, but not completely. With that being said, Justin Fields, what a game he played. 16 of 22, 218 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. That touchdown to Garrett Wilson, that was a thing of beauty. Jalen Ramsey was playing safety. They had the crossing pattern with Reynolds and Garrett Wilson. Both of them had beaten their cornerbacks. Ramsey had to make a decision. Do I cover Reynolds? Do I double team Reynolds or do I double team Garrett Wilson? He double teams Reynolds. Justin Fields delivers it right on the dot, unlike Caleb Williams last night for the Chicago Bears. See where I'm going with that one. Justin Fields delivered an absolute dot to his former Ohio State teammate, Garrett Wilson. Great protection by the offensive line. It's I really feel bad for Elijah Vera Tucker getting injured again. I'll say this. I think that You will never see Elijah Vera Tucker in a Jets uniform again. This is his third season-ending injury in 4 seasons. He had the other tricep that he tore in the first season against the Broncos. Then he got the Achilles at Denver. Ironically enough, last season was really the first healthy season that he had. He played 15 out of 17 games. And Elijah Vera Tucker was great. And then just this last week, he tears his other tricep. Unfortunately, when he plays well. But the best ability is availability, and he's basically kind of been like a Kawhi Leonard or an Anthony Davis. He's just not available, unfortunately. So, as far as Elijah Vera Tucker goes, I don't think necessarily his NFL career is over, but his career as a New York Jet, it's done. I don't see him becoming a New York Jet next season. I think he'll go somewhere else unless he decides to stay with the Jets and become a backup. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think that unfortunately, the Jets are done with Elijah Vera Tucker, really through no fault of his own. I'm sure Elijah Vera Tucker, a great person from everything I've heard, works hard, keeps his nose to the ground. But unfortunately, too many injuries, and unfortunately, like I said, he won't be back next season. I don't want to call him a bust because injuries is something you can't control. If he was just somebody that just couldn't play the game and didn't have any hunger for the game, that'd be a different story. But unfortunately, injuries are they are what they are, and unfortunately, he is unfortunately very injury prone. With that being said, you know what? I gotta applaud the entire offensive line, starting with Olafashano on the left, John Simpson as the right guard, and then the big change, Josh Myers, who the Jets acquired from Green Bay to compete for the starting center job due to the issues with Joe Tippmann and some of his issues with the snaps. So Josh Myers starts. Joe Tippmann slides to right guard, and I'm gonna keep it honest. He did great. It was a seamless transition to right guard by Joe Tippmann, and then the rookie Armand Bembu, the number one draft pick, the first round draft pick out of the University of Missouri, who the Jets picked seventh in the draft. My man was out there. I'm not. I don't want to say he dominated T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt made a couple of plays here and there, but by no means was Armand Membu dominated in any way. He pancaked T.J. Watt a couple of times, and that offensive line was cooking. And if this offensive line stays healthy, I'm telling you right now, this might very well, even with Elijah Vera Tucker, if he hadn't gotten hurt. But I think if with this offensive line that's presently constituted with Fashanu, John Simpson, Josh Myers at center, Joel Tippmann, and Armand Membu, this could very well be the best offensive line since the heyday of the Rex Ryan days. We talk about that Rex Ryan defense, but that offensive line of DeBrickashaw Ferguson, first Alan Faneca, and then Matt Slauson, who Matt Slauson was actually a decent left guard. Nick Mangold, Brandon Moore, and Damian Woody. I don't want to talk about Wayne Hunter. Wayne Hunter was not that great, but when Damian Woody was healthy, that's probably the best offensive line in the history of the New York Jets. And this current offensive line, as presently constituted, I think has the potential to be that way, to be as good and maybe even better than that offensive line. Especially in that first drive. I mean, the Steelers, who have a pretty good defense with T.J. Watt, they've got Highsmith, uh, they've got a couple other guys that they've got Patrick Queen, Alex Highsmith. Oh, they got Chuck Clark, the former Jet. I didn't know they had him. Obviously you got Jalen Ramsey, who made plays, especially the one at the end. You've got Brandon Eccles, a former Jet as well. I know Joey Porter Jr. Got hurt. They got Jack Sawyer. I think Jack Sawyer is the young man out of Ohio State, highly touted. Peyton Wilson. They got Darius Slay. And listen, that New York Jets offensive line was pushing them around. Let's just keep it. Let's just keep it real. And then that opened up the floodgates for Brees Hall. Brees Hall had his best game in a long time. He looked like the Brees Hall from his rookie season before he got hurt in Denver. 19 carries, 107 yards. Unfortunately, no touchdowns. Had two receptions for 38 yards. Garrett Wilson. I'm telling you right now, Garrett Wilson is going to get 1,000 yards. He's probably going to get 1,500 yards this season. I know that he's really the only receiving threat that the Jets have. But even with that being said, he still had 7 for 95 and a touchdown. Garrett Wilson is just one of those guys. He's just unstoppable, and all the pieces are in place for a very very good offense. An offense that why can't they score 30 points a game every game? I mean, that probably will not happen. I'm sure at some point there will be a defense during the season that might shut them down. But why can't this offense score 30 points a game? And of course, give props to Tanner Engstrom, the new offensive coordinator. Nice work, man. He was calling some really good plays. So we actually got an offensive coordinator. Looks like he knows what he's doing. A lot better than what's his face. The one that was friends with Aaron Rodgers. He was so bad I can't even remember his name. So I'm happy with the Jets offense. Yes, they did miss the 2 point conversion. Unfortunately, they should have just took the extra point. Nick Folk missed the extra point, which I knew we were in trouble at that point. Pittsburgh, they get a penalty. The Jets are at the 2. They should have just kicked the extra point and just kept it moving. But instead, they try to go for 2. The Jets lose by 2. Aaron Glenn, he tried to be Dan Campbell a little too much there, and ultimately ended up costing us. And again, just a lack of discipline, some unnecessary penalties. What's going on? So uh, we'll see. But in summary, get rid of Xavier Wilson. Yeah, Xavier. What is it? Yeah, Xavier Gibson. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. Get rid of him. Get anybody but him. The receivers for Aaron Rodgers, they were open, but that's because the Jets had a lot of busted coverages, particularly Michael Carter II and Brandon Stevens. Put Isaiah Thomas in. If Josh Allen starts slinging it and starts exposing Brandon Stevens, who, by the way, missed also, there was an interception that went right through his hands as he's falling. That could have sealed the deal right there. So let's not forget that. I mean, he played an absolutely horrible game. I mean, that was basically Trumaine Johnson right there. They might as well have gotten Trumaine Johnson out of retirement and had him play. It was just horrible. Let's see what happens now moving forward against the Buffalo Bills this coming Sunday. Buffalo comes into MetLife Stadium. This could be a trap game for Buffalo. From the Jets standpoint, it might actually have been a good thing that Buffalo had came back and beat Baltimore the way they did. And I'll tell you why, because right now Buffalo they're riding high off of that incredible win on Sunday Night Football against the Ravens, a big time choke job by Baltimore. So this might be a trap game for Buffalo. They might be, feeling confident. We're going to the Super Bowl now, so on and so forth. Yeah, Blue Crab. Yeah, you're right, Blue Crab. But this could be a trap game for Buffalo, and the Jets certainly have a chance to win. If you notice, Derrick Henry was killing Buffalo. Buffalo could not stop the run. And so what is the New York Jets offense going to be predicated off of? Running the football, the offensive line. I can see this Jets offensive line dominating the Buffalo defensive line. Yes, Buffalo has Ed Oliver. Buffalo's got some good players on defense, but Derrick Henry was like the Fugees out there before the fumble. Derrick Henry was killing them softly one time, killing them softly 2 times. So Derrick Henry showing why he is a future Hall of Famer. Unfortunately, that fumble changed the momentum of the game, just like the fumble for Xavier Gibson changed the momentum of the Jets Steeler game. Let's see what the defense this coming Sunday can cook up against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. But I think the offense for the Jets can really do a number, and they can play that ground and pound style of football. They can keep the Buffalo defense on the field for as long as possible. If the Jets can keep time of possession for 35 minutes out of the 60 minutes of this game, I absolutely believe that the Jets can come away uh, with that win. And if the Jets win this coming Sunday, no matter what Miami or the New England Patriots do, if the Jets are able to win on Sunday, guess what? The New York Jets will be in first place in the AFC East. So that's what the Jets are going to be playing for. And listen, as good a team as Buffalo has had over the years, it just seems like at least once out of the two meetings that the Jets and Buffalo have, for the most part, the Jets are able to pull off at least a split against Buffalo. New England will be playing at Miami, but that's not going to matter. If the Jets win, again, if the Jets win on Sunday, they will be leading the AFC East going into the following week against Tampa Bay, and then the following week going up against the Miami Dolphins, a Miami Dolphins team that is reeling right now. So, so that's it. So the Jets would again with a win have the lead in the AFC East, 1-0 in the AFC. So let's see what happens this coming Sunday. I'll try to watch as much as I can. I may not be able to watch the whole game. I probably will not be able to do a podcast on it, but I'll try to watch as much of the game as I can. And also, Blue Crab, you're on my Madden franchise rebuild. The offense was great. My defense was crap. So I didn't forget that comment you made earlier. So, but eventually I was able to get the defense somewhat decent. Uh, but in my Madden rebuild, my offense was unstoppable. And it's funny how this how this game kind of worked out that way. So we'll see. But still, right now, Buffalo and Kansas City are probably still the top two teams in the AFC, and then followed by um, Baltimore. We'll see what happens with Pittsburgh. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers can make it through the whole year. But if the Steelers cannot run the ball, I don't know. That offensive line was not that great. Broderick Jones was getting lit up by Will McDonald. So we'll see about what happens with Pittsburgh. But anyway, this has been my honest review of the New York Jets versus Pittsburgh Steelers game. Thank you to everybody that watched. I had a lot of viewership for this video. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, Jets, 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 Jets.